What's up, guys? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about Nervos Network. Now, Nervos Network, on a lot of people's watch list, they were marketing very, very well over the past couple of years. Like you'll see Nervos Network's ads on YouTube, no doubt. And their ads have been good. They've been, and I thought they marketed really effectively. I think they've grown really well. I think this is one that can do some really interesting stuff in price. And actually, there's some info in this video that I want to share with people that I'm sure they're not aware of right now. But there's been a real surge in growth in Nervos. So I really want to point this out because I think it goes a long way towards price appreciation long term. But before I get into this video, guys, if you're new to the channel, these are the first 26 coins that I spoke about on this channel. They're also the first 26 coins I owned when I made this channel. Had you invested just $100 into each of these when I released videos about them, and you were still holding them all, firstly, why are you still holding them all? We just had a bull cycle. That's when you sell. But secondly, if you were to sell them today, $2,600 investment would net you a profit of 12 grand, which is not bad, given that you sold them like 2 years late. Now, I sold these in 2021. My friends and followers sold these in 2021 when the markets were red hot. If you would have put in the $2,600 investment and sold these at the height of the cycle in 2021, 2,600 would have netted you a profit of 123 grand. That's a house. It's not bad. Now, as I said, I sold them all. They're not what I own. But if you do want to see the coins that I own right now, the ones that I'm building up for the next bull cycle, go over to copymycrypto.com. There I share my long-term investments. These are the ones I believe are going to be the big winners. And if you're looking to make these kind of gains without doing, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 hours worth of white paper reading and research, then go read the site. I break down every coin I own. I break down what gains I think they can have. I break down the percentage of my money I'm putting into them as well. And if members want to copy along, they can. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as it can ever be. We also do videos every day talking about the markets. If that's something that interests you, we talk about the market moves on a daily basis. We've predicted the market moves exactly countless amounts of times. So that's something you want to check out. Also, we have a ton of tutorials. If you're a crypto beginner and you don't have a clue where to start, go read the site, because we have tons of tutorials that are perfect for you. And if when you read the site you like it, come join me there. And if you don't worry about it. You don't have to buy, but keep watching the channel and make sure you've hit the subscribe button, guys. Right, Nervos Network. So Nervos Network is currently priced at 35/100ths of a cent. So the Nervos Network describes itself as an open source public blockchain ecosystem and collection of protocols. The Nervos CKB is their common knowledge base. That's what the ticker stands for, CKB, common knowledge base. And it's the layer 1 proof of work blockchain protocol of the Nervos Network. It allows any crypto asset to be stored with security, immutability, and in the permissionless nature of Bitcoin, while having smart contracts and layer 2 scaling. So it aims to capture the total network value through its store of value crypto economic design and native token. Now, Nervos, as I said, one thing that they did really well during that sort of previous bull cycle was they advertised really effectively. They were you could see them everywhere, and I thought that was actually really good to see. It was effective marketing, and it managed to hit heights of like 4.2 cents. The second wave only managed to get up to about 3.5 cents, but they've got a few really big ideas. One of them is their universal passport. So they talk about the barrier to entry for crypto users. So users wanting to make use of dApps, the barrier to entry is quite high. You've got to have like 15 different friggin' wallets, So their discussion is how to get a universal passport that covers every possible use case. So when they discuss this, they're basically saying, well, what they've built is what they call their universal passport. It's their solution to creating a next generation of interoperability that empowers the creation of universal applications. So apps that can go onto individual blockchains and work on every one of them. So they've got a Force Bridge, PW Core, and Polyjuice. These three components solve the high barriers to entry, cross-chain circulation of assets, and the premise that dApps do not need to change their code to truly interoperate. Now, the components are based on top of Nervos' CKB through the power of underlying public chain of Nervos CKB with their layer 2 components. Applications, users, and assets have access to a blockchain ecosystem that is likened to the internet as we know it today. So they are starting to really push on this. And the next step is obviously showing the developers the ease with which their universal passport can be used and then implemented. And they have, pleasing to see, a ton of grants up and running now. So this is the Nervos Grants program. So again, people, all they have to do is apply and they can learn about the categories through that. So there's infrastructure grants, there's marketing and building, community building grants, there's app and use case grants, sponsorship and promotion grants, and scholarship, bursary, and personal grants. And again, the reason that I like this is you have to incentivize particularly developers. Now, it's good that they've got all the stuff like marketing and community building stuff, but I really only care about the fact that they've got these app and use case grants combined with the infrastructure grants. You've got to incentivize people to come and build something different, something new. That's how we see. That's how we saw Avalanche growing to the degree that it did. That's how we saw Solana growing to the degree that we did. So Nervos really pushing on this is a really good sign. They've got to make sure that they continue to highlight this, because the more that they highlight this, the better growth they're going to have. But in terms of ecosystem, it's really started looking good. You know, they've got, this is the infrastructure for developers. You can see that it's starting to look nice. NFT gaming still needs to grow if that's something that they want to focus upon. They've already got their explorers up and running and community. For me, the bigger thing that I think Nervos is really, really, really well suited for is decentralized finance. I think this is a chain that can do this really, really well. I think sleeping on DeFi at the moment is never going to be a good idea, because decentralized finance is going to have a wave. Of course it is. With everything that's happened with all the centralized places over the course of the last couple of years, DeFi is going to have a big run. While people's memories are short, those people that got burned by Celsius and BlockFi and Voyager are going to always want to use DeFi more. So sleeping on that would be foolish. I don't think it's something that they'll do. I think they'll work towards growing that really, really well. But the bigger thing that I want to share with people is about the mining stats. It's hit huge growth. It's hit an all-time high, literally just this past week. The hash rate has absolutely skyrocketed, which means the miners are flocking there. And interestingly, basically since the new year, miners are coming and coming and coming and coming. The hash rate has more than doubled since, the 1st of January. In fact, since the 1st of January, it's nearly trebled. It's at an all-time high. And miners go where the money is. That's just a fact. Miners go where the money is because it's in their interest. They have to cover electricity costs. They have to cover mining rigs. There's so many costs towards mining. So miners have to go where they think they're going to make the most profit. And clearly miners have all of a sudden become insanely bullish. This has trebled in a month, in like 2 months, 3 months now. And it didn't experience any growth during the merge. And that's where you would have expected the huge growth. And it didn't experience a single bit. But huge since the start of the new year. So people are looking into this more and more and more. They are seeing value. And I mean, hell, look, mining hash rate. That is now treble what it was at the start of January. So the fact that miners are flocking, very, very, very good sign. Very, very good sign. And honestly, it's not one I'd sleep on, because the fact of the matter is that miners don't just go anywhere. They research and they decide where they're going to be most profitable. So the fact that they've flooded and flocked to Nervos over the past 3 months is a very, very strong sign. So then we come back to Nervos and we go, well, what can this do in price? Well, 10x, definitely, because that's previously the high, the second wave. It actually did more than that. Now, if it does a 10x, you know, it's going to have a market cap of about 1.4 billion. I'd be looking at this to potentially beat its previous high, because you can't, all we can say is it's experienced one full bull cycle, and while, yeah, there were 2 waves to it, its second wave was weaker. You can't say long-term downtrend. It's only really experienced the one. So the question is what does it do? I'd be looking at 4 or 5 cents as a target point. I actually think this can do 5 cents. That puts it at 2 billion market cap, with the network growth really, 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 really good. Only real concern for me is volume. Volume's oddly low for a coin with a market cap of 100+ million. Yeah, you know, they have some good days, like some days where it's like 40-odd million, but generally, some days have been very, very low over the past few months. That is a little bit concerning. It's a bit unusual. But against the mining stats and everything else, I think this is one that's definitely going to have some growth. And again, I think they're going to market effectively, because they always do. They did throughout last cycle. I think they will in the next one. So I think 5 cents as a target point is pretty good and pretty achievable for them. And I'm just staggered at I'm staggered at the mining change in the past 3 months. I've not seen many projects that are proof of work that have seen massive growth over the last 3 months. So something shifted in miners' heads, and clearly they see value here where they didn't previously. So I'm going to keep watching those mining stats, because if they continue to go up, miners have had a shift, which is always worth taking note of. But what do you guys think? Do you think this can do 5 cents? That would be 2 billion market cap. I think it can do 5 cents. It's got to get above 4.2 cents, because then it's in price discovery, and it can do anything. But I don't know, 5 cents. We've got the grant system in place. Miners are flocking there. Only real negative for me right now is that volume, and the volume isn't low enough to be a cause for concern. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And if you're a returning viewer, hit the subscribe button. This videos will make you money. You'll learn something. You know, I bet you didn't know about the mining stats. And when I'm talking about a coin I don't like, it'll probably save you money. So don't miss the videos. Hit the subscribe button. Plus, karma's a real thing. Get your karma points up by doing something nice, and hitting the subscribe button is nice. And if you guys want to see the coins I own, my long-term investments in the crypto space, head over to copymycrypto.com. It is where I share every coin I own. Anytime I buy or sell any coin, the members are alerted in real time. We talk about markets every day, by the way. If you like to know about the short term and what's happening, these videos you'll like these videos, because we've been bang on as well. We predicted the exact move of Bitcoin so many times. And then on top of that, guys, look, we've got a ton of tutorials. So if you're a crypto beginner, the tutorials are going to be exactly what you need to get started. But if you want to make these kind of profits without doing thousands of hours of research, reading white papers, looking at charts, then this is a site you're going to want to look at. Remember that you can verify every single thing you read on the site on this channel's history. And if you like it, come join me there. And if you don't, no obligation to buy, just keep watching the channel. And if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss videos in the future. And that is it for me, guys. Take it easy. Bye-bye.